Magazine reported that 6% of American drivers read the newspaper while driving. If 300 drivers are selected at random, find the probability that exactly 25 say they read the newspaper while driving. All right, so I still need to identify. What can I pick out of there? P is 0.6, or, all right. And what else?
Your X is 25 and your total is 300 for N.
X is 25 and N is 300. All right. So to go along with the steps I put above, step 1 is to check that I can actually do the normal. My check is N times P. So 300 times 0.06, what does that give me? 18, which is greater than or equal to 5. So that part of the check is good. Then I want to do N times Q. Well, I've got 300, and Q is 1 minus my 0.6. So let's see what that gives us.
That's step 2 is N times Q.
Yes. It's what?
What is that?
Second step?
Q. What's 1 minus 0.06? 0.94?
Yep.
So we're going to do 300 times 0.94 for the second part of the check. And what does that give us? 282. Now your two pieces here should add up to the total amount, right? Because you've got two groups, and so you should be able, the 18 and the 282 go back to your total of 300 samples, because they should be into your total amount. Both of these are greater than or equal to 5. So the conditions to do the normal are met. So I'll move to step 2.
Oh, that's all step 1. That was in the step 2.
That's not step 2, sorry. The step 2 is to find the mean and the standard deviation. Well, the mean of a binomial is what? Not for a binomial. It's n times p, right? Well, in our check, we found the mean, because we already did n times p, so we know our mean is 18. The one we didn't find is the standard deviation. And how do we find the standard deviation of a binomial? Square root of n times p times q. So square root of 300 times 0.06 times 0.94. And let's see what that gives us. Huh? From right here where we do 1 minus our p. So what do we get? 4.11. All right. So I've got my mean and my standard deviation. Then step 3 says write down what your probability is, what you want to find. Well, we want to find the probability that x is equal to 25. So now that I know what I'm looking for, I want to rewrite it with that continuity correction. So I'm equal to it, so let's go back to our table. X equal to an amount says that I want to use my x minus 0.5 and x plus 0.5. So we're going to add and subtract 0.5 for this. So we're going to get 25 minus 0.5 is less than x is less than 25 plus 0.5. So we're really going to find 24.5 is less than x is less than 25.5. No, 0.5, and that's a less than sign. No, that's just my writing ability.
25 and then say minus 0.5?
Minus 0.5 for the first one.
How did you get step 3?
Step 3, I'm going back to what would we have been looking for when we did this as a binomial. And they asked me right here the probability of exactly 25. So exactly means I would equal that amount. Yes?
This is 18 is greater than step 1.
18 is greater than or equal to 5. Because we're doing this check right here to see whether we can actually use the normal distribution on this.
And in step 4, 25 minus
25 minus the 0.5.
5 is 24.5.
All right. So now that I actually know the interval that I'm going to be finding the probability of, I can kind of draw it out and say now I can take this to the normal world. And we found the mean to be 18. And then we're in between 24.5 and 25.5. So we want the area of this little region right here. And we can use z-scores or we can use our normal CDF. And we're going to go from our lower, which is 24.5, up to 25.5. And then our mean we found in step 2 to be 18. And in step 2 we found the standard deviation to be 4.11. And I got to open my calculator. Feel free to calculate it while you wait for me. And just as a reminder, you will only use CDF. We never use normal PDF. All right, so I got my lower, my upper, my mean, and my standard deviation. And let's calculate. So my probability is 0.0229. And then the last thing is to always write my conclusion. 0.0229. Did I write it down wrong? Nope. Oh, I couldn't. Oh, it's part of it. This should have been step 5. And step 6 is where I want my ending. All right, so the probability that exactly 25 people say they read the newspaper while driving is 2.29%. Oh, we're kind of glad that's low.
Yeah.
So does this work because 25 can't be a fraction, it's not a continuous grade set because it's the number of people?
And that's why we have to add the 0.5s, add and subtracted, so that we get some decimals in there. Because otherwise we have no interval of numbers.
We're actually creating the area here.
Other questions? Yes. Of a bowling league, 10% are widowed. If 200 bowling league members are selected at random, find the probability that 10 or more will be widowed. Real happy topic. All right, what can we identify? D is 0.1, all right. X is greater than or equal to 10 because it says 10 or more. So you can equal 10 or be more than it. N is 200. All right. And that means that Q is 1 minus 0.1, which is 0.9. Good. So we got all our pieces. So we want to check to make sure we can take this into the normal. My check is n times p. So I've got 200 times 0.1, which gives me, that's definitely greater than or equal to 5. Then if we do n times q, it's 20. Still greater than or equal to 5. And if we do 200 times 0.9, what does that give us? 180. That's where the 180 comes from, huh?
Yeah.
All right, good. So both of them are greater than or equal to 5. So that means that we can use the normal distribution on this. So if I'm going to use the normal distribution, I need a mean and standard deviation. What's my mean? 20. N times p. So we already got it in the step above. It's 20. I do need to calculate the standard deviation. So the square root of n, which is 200, times p, 0.1, times q, 0.9. And we'll see what that gives us. $4.25. All right. Oh, 2.4. So then what I need to decide is what probability am I actually trying to find? Well, we're looking for the probability that x is greater than or equal to 10. So what does that mean I need to do with the 0.5? Do I add, subtract? Do I do both? So we'll go back to our table and say when x is greater than or equal to 10, where's my greater than or equal to? Number 2. So says to take what I have and subtract 0.5 from it. So x is greater than 10 minus 0.5. So we're going to find the probability that x is greater than 9.5. Now I'm going to just go into the normal. I have a mean of 20. I want to be greater than 9.5, so 9.5 or more. And how would I find that probability? Normal CDF. Start at 9.5. Go to my positive infinity. My mean, which is 20, and my standard deviation of 4.24. And let's see what that's going to give us. .9934. Did everyone get the same thing? Yes?
Yeah.
All right, so then I would say the probability 10 or more of bowling league members are widowed is 99.34%. So what we really found out is do not join a bowling league.